It started in 1695 as a French trading post. By the early 1800s, Little Fort was a small, bustling industrial town.
Lake County was formed from McHenry in 1839. Just a year after that, ambitious Little Fort snatched the title of county seat away from Libertyville, which at that time was called Independence Grove, thanks in part to a possibly exaggerated census taken by a Little Fort booster named Captain Robinson.
Within 10 years, the population boomed to 2,400. Since Little Fort was no longer little, it changed its name to Waukegan, the Potawatomi word for fort or trading post.
Waukegan served as a port city, shipping farm products to Chicago. Remember, this was in the days before there was an easy overland route to the city, but that would change soon enough.
The morning of January 13, 1855, was cold and dreary, but spirits were high in Waukegan. The largest crowd in the city's history assembled for the opening of the Chicago and Milwaukee Railroad. Chicago Mayor Levi Boone was on hand. The president of the railroad was Walter Gurnee, himself a former Chicago mayor. He was about to make one of the first fortunes in North Shore real estate.
You see, he located the train stations adjacent to land he owned all up and down the North Shore. Gurnee's property became Lake Bluff, Highland Park, Glencoe, and Winnetka.
Gurnee came to Chicago in 1836 from Haverstraw, New York, where his father was a wealthy tanner. Here, he established the highly successful Chicago Hide and Leather Company. Then, he started buying land.
Gurnee found himself at odds with executives of his own railroad. He had a vision of bedroom communities all up and down the North Shore served by commuter trains, which would take passengers to and from the city every day. His colleagues thought the money was in hauling freight. After all, these bedroom communities only existed in Gurnee's imagination. In the end, they overruled their boss and ran freight trains.
That actually worked to Waukegan's advantage. The town was too far from Chicago to be considered a suburb. Freight trains helped it continue to develop as a regional industrial town. Waukegan struggled with declining industry starting in the 1970s, but it's still a blue-collar town with dreams of revitalizing its downtown. The diverse population is about a third Hispanic, a third white, and 20% African American. Jack Benny is Waukegan's most famous native son. He was born Benjamin Kubelski in 1894. He dropped out of high school to play violin in vaudeville shows. Author Ray Bradbury was born in Waukegan in 1920. He revolutionized science fiction by focusing more on humans than hardware. His best-known works are The Martian Chronicles and Fahrenheit 451. Walter Gurnee may have been the father of the